My audience, there he is. There he is. You know, oh God. All right, here we go. $816,414. That's the amount the average NFL player gets paid a year. Would you want to give that much money to an 18 or 19-year-old kid who's never had to pay bills, never had to live on their own, or a lot of them don't even have responsibility until they leave home? So I'm Anthony, and this is why student athletes should not get paid. So scholarships. Schools already pay top dollar for their athletes. They give them what's called a full ride scholarship. A full ride scholarship encompasses many things. It encompasses maybe a free laptop so you can do your studies. You get meal cards. You get, tuition. You get housing. Everything you need. Now, if they get paid, there is a few things that could go wrong. They might stop going to class. For many athletes, school is just a formality or a stepping stone, and all they see it as is somewhere they have to go to get to the professional level. But if they get paid and they just kind of set it to the back burner, their whole focus is money. And they think, well, I don't have to go to class, I'm already getting paid to go, just go play sports. So their education can suffer, and in the long term, their life can suffer. One example is the University of Oregon. They pay $256 million a year in scholarships and financial aid. Now, why should they pay all the athletes again for the same exact reason? If they're taking care of all their other bills, why should they pay them more money to, play the same sport? Now, another thing that can happen, this is Johnny Manziel, a very good representation of what someone who gets paid right away after college or during college can look like. He got paid right as he was leaving college, and that was his incentive to leave. And he's all about the money, as you can see. He went to the NFL, he was immature because he got paid too fast. And if he would have got paid in college, I guarantee he would have been the exact same way. He no longer plays in the NFL. He spent all of his signing bonus money and now goes back to the same exact school. It can no longer play sports. So, competitive, and not in a good way. Many people can become competitive. So, if you were to pay your best wide receiver, and you think, oh yeah, it won't be a big deal, I'm paying my wide receiver, but you don't pay your quarterback, think about the kind of tension that's going to be between them. You're going to throw to the person who's outpaying you? Absolutely not. You're going to avoid that person if you're the quarterback. So that not only hurts their statistics, it can also hurt the team. Excuse me. Now, remember, a lot of these kids are very immature because they're just coming out of high school. They haven't really lived yet. So paying them this money can cause tension in more ways than you think. Other than competing against each other, they might lose that competitive nature for the game that we all love in college sports. We all love seeing how ready they are every single Saturday or during March Madness, how ready we are to see them play, because they're trying to get to the draft. They're trying to move up in their career, and they're trying to get scouted. When they get paid, they no longer have to worry about that when they take on an agent. Or when they make $816,000 a year, they don't have to worry about getting drafted because they're already set up for their lifetime. Now, we see college players give everything they've got, like I said, so they can get scouted or drafted. But they can start to take it easy, just like we see in the pros with multi-million-dollar contracts. Now, here's some things. Obviously, people going for money and some very lackadaisicalness on the field. Now, school budget cuts is a big one people don't think about. If you're giving the college athletes the money that the school has, you have to do something you didn't even think about. You have to make budget cuts. Now, University of Oregon, like I mentioned, gives $256 million in scholarships and financial aid. Now, if they were to pay the athletes this extra money for the sports, they would have to make budget cuts first on other sports. So the other people that, got scholarships to go to the school, now all of those people no longer have that scholarship because they had to completely take away the sport. Sports like volleyball, soccer usually go first. Also tennis and golf, but it's just golf. Next, it would be the school getting budget cuts. You would have to cut classes. You would have to cut maybe science, or sometimes they even cut English classes if it's a really small school. Now, doesn't it seem wrong to you to pay the players so much money and then the people that are paying out of pocket can suffer? You also have to think smaller schools can be a very big problem in a very hard spot if they have to pay their students. Because if they have to pay their students, they no longer can afford the small luxuries they already have. Budget cuts. Now, like I said, $816,414 is not what you should pay someone who is 18 to 19 years old. Once they make it to the professional level, it is absolutely okay to pay them that much because they've worked their ass off to get there. But until they get there, you need to let them go to school, get their education, then no matter what happens in the future, they can still succeed with their degree. Scholarships, already pay them. Budget cuts are exactly what's going to happen if you pay them, and they will be overly competitive. You might not think so, but they will. And then they'll be less competitive on the field because they're too busy competing with their teammates. Now, those are the reasons not to pay college athletes. And I want you to always think, not just of those college athletes, but of all the kids in the school that aren't athletic, that can't play the sports. Think about all those people that you're taking away from. Thank you. And now I'd like to open the floor up to some questions. Anybody have any questions?
I do.
Okay.
First of all, what if these college players that were coming in were getting an incentive, maybe $500 or $1,000 per month, and with that being said, they had to take a money management class? Do you think that could better help them in the long term, or do you think it would hinder them because it'd be like, oh, cool, I get $1,000 every month for I think going to the club, partying, drinking? I don't know.
That's a very good question. I think it would still hinder them in the long run because they are still getting more of an incentive than the rest of the students. So a lot of them may feel privileged. Now, the money management class, I feel, is one of the best ideas I've heard. Because if they have to take that money management class, it will also help them in their professional career. But I still think there is no amount of money that should be paid to college athletes other than their scholarship, their meal cards, and stuff like that that they need. Other than that, I don't think they should, no. Anybody else?
Is it illegal to pay college students right now, or can you actually pay them?
It is illegal to pay college students. There is actually at least 1 or 2 cases a year of someone being paid, or taking an endorsement is also a way of getting paid that people don't realize. And people have been accused of it. Cam Newton got accused of it it was either wearing a suit or wearing some sneakers, and that doesn't seem like a big deal. But when you take a gift from someone, they're endorsing you. They're giving you money because you are an athlete. And if you're in college, you can't accept gifts. You can't be paid by the school. You can't be paid by any other outside source. So, yes. Any other questions?
For me, that personally sums it up. I feel pretty well informed, and I don't think we should be paying college students whatsoever.
Excellent. Anything else?
Is there any pros to paying a college student, or are they pretty much all negatives?
Nope. In my opinion, there's no pros to paying the college athlete. Now, there are people that believe there are, but in my opinion, and all the facts I've given you today, I feel like we shouldn't pay them, and we should just keep giving them the scholarships and letting them succeed on their own. Thank you.